Legal problems often do not start in the courtroom. They start with contracts, business decisions, unclear delegations, employment issues, disputes, or risks that were not addressed early enough. For business owners, executives, families, and professionals, the right legal guidance can mean the difference between reacting to a crisis and preventing one. Today, we are going to talk about business law, litigation, risk, client advocacy, and how technology may help law firms serve clients more efficiently without losing the human judgment that legal work requires. Right? Welcome to another edition of the Smart Office Podcast. I'm your host, Hippolyte Asa. I'm an AI implementation engineer. What I do is I help businesses use practical AI systems to improve operations, client experience, and growth. Today, I'm excited to welcome Troy Brown, partner at Albers and Associates. Troy is an experienced attorney with a broad background across corporate and business transactions, commercial litigation, construction and residential real estate law, intellectual property, employment law, estate planning, government investigation, and complex disputes. Before joining Albers and Associates, Troy founded his own practice, worked in security, and handled high-level legal matters across multiple practice areas. Troy, welcome to the Smart Office Podcast. Troy, I've been hoping and looking forward to this conversation, and I'm glad you're here today. Thank you very much for joining me. Because your background is very unique, you are not just practicing law in one narrow lane. You have seen legal issues from the perspective of business disputes, regulations, academia, litigation, and client advocacy.
Great. I'm great. It's a pleasure to be here, and these are definitely important topics we're about to discuss, no doubt about it.
Thank you. I'm glad to have you here. I think this conversation will be valuable for business owners, professionals, and families who want to understand how to think about legal risks before it becomes a bigger problem.
I co-oversee our business law group, and this is my 10th year of practice. Went to Morgan State University for undergrad, majoring in political science. I'm a graduate of Harvard Law School. Also have my master's in public administration from Harvard's Kennedy School of Government. And again, you've spoken a good bit about my background. I've always wanted to be a lawyer. And in terms of what got me interested in law, I would say comic books on a couple different levels, actually. Certainly the idea of being a kind of superhero representing several entities' interests and in and out of court in the boardroom negotiating. And I guess even more simplistically for me, I had a friend of mine who's also a client, and we would constantly argue over a particular character's title. A character named Quasar the Cosmic Avenger, and my friend and client argued that this character had cosmic power, which is why he was called the Cosmic Avenger, and I had a different argument. He was the Avenger of the Cosmos. And what we would do is we collect comic books and develop arguments based off of our respective positions and present them. And I remember saying that we did this to a lawyer, and he was like, you're basically doing legal analysis. So certainly wanting to be a hero and help people and enjoying argumentation and putting together arguments, procedure, those kinds of things always interested me. Thank you.
Oh, that's interesting. Yes. That's an interesting take on that background there.
A litigation practice and a transactional practice, it helps me understand where some of the delicate points are in negotiations, what can go wrong, what happens if they go wrong. So I try to advise my clients from the perspective of exit strategy and best alternatives to a negotiated agreement, understanding that if there is a dispute, how that dispute can be resolved, how to try to be efficient when it comes to resolving any kind of dispute, and certainly when it comes to the transactional point or the transactional side, again, having an understanding as to what my clients are interested in, what is their business about. The more I know about their business and what their long-term strategies and agendas are, the better I can advise them as to what they're looking forward to. So one informs the other for me.
Right. Wow.
We aim to be the trusted
Albers
advisor of all of our clients. It's a multi-practice law firm. We do family law, estate planning, personal injury, criminal defense, and business and civil law. We aim to be trusted advisors. We aim for great results. We are looking to be responsive. I think a lot of clients have concerns about how responsive or the lack of responsiveness from their chosen advocates. And that's what we aim to achieve. We want our clients to be well informed about their matters. We want them to feel like they're involved in the process and, of course, looking to get great results. So we're a multi-practice law firm and we're looking to take care of all their business.
Like,
Sure, all of it.
like focus on this advocacy. I hear responsiveness. I hear probably
Definitely.
strategy, like exit strategy. I hear helping clients feel supported during stressful legal process. That's a holistic approach to legal matters, which a lot of people,
That's exactly.
even my own experience, they usually don't take that approach. Many firms, they will just like entry strategy. They don't. There's no exit strategy, right? We never think, well, if it goes wrong, how do you
That's
exit?
exactly
Nobody.
right.
Or it's like get in, and then when it goes wrong, like, oh my God, there were no enough guardrails in place to help you exit. Right. So can you share maybe a case, maybe some situation, clear situation, without
Absolutely.
naming names, or
Absolutely.
maybe
So,
some
gosh, let
professional
me
experience
think of
that
one in
where
particular.
strong legal strategy made a
I
meaningful
can give
difference?
two. So, on the litigation side, I represented a gentleman that has a pretty vast portfolio of different kinds of businesses, and some of which involve gas stations. There was a dispute as to some disclosures involving the profitability of one of these businesses that he happened to sell, and a lawsuit resulted from that. The buyer wanted to sue my client, and rather than going through an extended litigation that could have unpredictable results and be rather expensive, we negotiated a good settlement that allowed him to focus on his real interest, which is building his portfolio. Part of the reason why we did that is because having an active litigation would have slowed down his other business interests in a way that would have been problematic. So, looking for an efficient result, getting that result, and allowing our clients to go back to their real lives, because their real lives don't involve litigation. That's my life. So, again, getting an efficient result. And on the transactional side, again, letting a client know whether I'm representing the buyer or seller in a transaction or a franchisee, making sure that they understand the process from start to finish as early as possible. I don't like surprises. I don't like good surprises. I don't like bad surprises. And I try to bring that philosophy into my practice and let my clients know, hey, here's what to expect from step one to step finish, so that they are completely prepared for what's going to happen. What can make a situation complex?
Wow, that's cool. So what made that situation complex?
Sure, if there's an underlying relationship beyond the
What was
transactional,
that, or what
meaning
was
if
at
it's a
stake to the client?
one-time transaction or one-time interaction, then it's zero sum and you're only looking to win. If there's an underlying relationship to preserve, that can make things complicated. If there is a dispute, resolving the dispute such that the underlying relationship isn't damaged, that can be difficult to manage. What can be difficult to manage also is if your client isn't giving you all the facts, that can be difficult because your analysis and strategy are only as good as your underlying knowledge about the situation. So that can make things difficult. And certainly the unpredictability when it comes to litigation, at least, even if the law is clear and you believe you have the better side of the facts, there's still other variables that you may have difficulty accounting for. How a jury may rule, judges' procedural rulings that can make things difficult because of the unpredictability. Those are certainly some of the things. And to the extent that there may be ambiguities in the law, that can make things difficult as well. Those are some of them. And on the transactional side, market conditions can make things unpredictable. The failure of financing for a buyer can make things unpredictable.
Given your background in legal profession and your experience, right? What's the difference between just having a lawyer react to a problem and having a legal guidance built into how the business operates?
In-house counsel tend to be generalists. They may not be specialists. Typically, you're bringing in an outside attorney that has a particular skill set or body of knowledge. That's important. On the other hand, depending on the general counsel, again, they may be completely prepared to handle a situation, but it's typically a matter of specialization and focus.
So Albert and Associates emphasize sometimes on guiding clients through probably the legal process. Why is client education so important during
I think for any kind of
stressful
legal
legal matters?
matter, you need to have the requisite understanding of the underlying dispute or the underlying field of law. Again, if it's a transactional matter, making sure that you know as much about the both parties as possible. If it's a dispute, again, making sure you have a good handle on the law, making sure you have a good handle on the facts, making sure that your clients are being as communicative as possible. I think, though, at a minimum, that's exactly what you need.
This episode of the Smart Office podcast is sponsored by Everybrain AI. Most businesses are not losing money because they lack good people. They are losing money because too many things still depend on manual follow-up, missed calls, slow response times, and repetitive admin work. That is where Everybrain AI comes in. We build AI implementation and automation systems that help your business run smarter. From AI receptionists and smart scheduling to lead qualification, workflow automation, client follow-up, and multi-channel lead generation. Imagine having a system that answers inquiries, qualifies prospects, books appointments, follows up automatically, and helps your team focus on the work that actually grows revenue. And the best part, it is fully done for you. No long-term contracts, no complicated tech headaches. Most systems can be up and running in 5 to 10 days. So whether you want to save time, cut overhead, or generate more qualified leads, Everybrain AI can help you build the automation layer your business needs. Visit everybrainai.com and book your free strategy call today. Everybrain AI, we build AI that runs your business. What advice would you give a business owner who is growing quickly?
If you're involved, your chosen attorney as early as possible, because selling a business or even buying a business can be like selling a house, and you want to make sure that your house is in order.
Right.
Having all of your financial documents in order, your foundational legal documents, whether it's an operating agreement or a shareholders agreement, in place, making sure that the analogous house is as in order as possible, so that when the due diligence period begins, you can turn over everything that you need to turn over. Those are critical.
Right. That's great. With everything that you and Harvest Associates are doing across multiple legal practice areas, what are some of the areas you are focused on improving right now? Maybe internally, like maybe some little things that are processes that may be priority, and how long has this been something that you guys have been thinking about? Is it more client intake, probably response time, maybe in that area, client education, maybe follow-ups or documentation workflows? Just throwing out this words there. Maybe there's something that comes from maybe referrals or team efficiency or projects or legal support or things like
Within
that.
the law firm, you
What
mean?
have you guys been really focused on improving right now that probably be a drag
Sure.
on
So
the system?
I think any self-conscious law firm is always looking to improve processes.
Generally process.
One of
The
the
law
big
firm or
topics, I think, for a lot of firms, ours included, would be the integration of artificial intelligence to make things more efficient. How do you do it? How are we making sure that we're all on the same page in terms of its usage? In essence, developing a body of ethics so that artificial intelligence is used appropriately. It can be a fantastic tool. It can also be a very dangerous one. So a lot of our recent discussions have been around the proper integration of it and the proper use of it. And certainly being accountable, as I think as all law firms are looking to do, just making sure that we are evolving properly in a very changing and dynamic business market. Efficiency is always the call of the day, and it's a competitive practice.
Right. So now that you brought it up, where do you see technology making the biggest difference in what you just described in legal services? Let's say, maybe is it client intake? Is it documentation organization? Is it probably research or case updates or client? Like, is it scheduling? Maybe appointment scheduling, follow-up CRM, or things like that, or drafting support, internal knowledge base management. Like, where do you see that? Let's say, given what you're working on right now, your experience and the process.
Question, actually, I think a few different ways. So many law firms are using CRM tools, for client relationship management. We have begun using a new vendor for part of that. Again, integrating that, making sure that we're all trained on the proper usage of it. Those are the big things. It's not always easy integrating new technology because, people get used to using people get used to using certain kinds of tools. All of that can be tricky, but again, making sure that everyone's on the
Exactly.
same page and being properly trained, that there is sensitivity in terms of making sure that people are learning properly. Yeah, those are some of the issues.
That's great. Now that I'm thinking about it and how law firms operate, I've never really worked within a law firm myself, but I believe with, as you said, technology, it's everywhere. It's not like some fields don't use technology. But if you could remove one repetitive task or low value task from your practice or team's weekly load, something that has not to do with legal, professional, nothing to do with your advisory or work, but just that low level thing that keeps coming up, taking your time every week, weekday or daily, and just manual tasks that you don't want to see happening. What would that task be, and how often does that happen?
Right, engagement letters possible. I can hand off most of the mechanical work to my assistants or paralegals, but the scope of work is very much on me, making sure that I'm articulating exactly what we're agreeing to do or not do. But again, that is part of client relationship management, the necessary evil.
Yeah, so certain areas in which you may want to automate that will free maybe your time or the team's time instead. What would that area be? Maybe you want to focus on certain areas that you may want to automate.
Things that need a human touch already is.
What type of
But
clients?
businesses that need fractional general counsel may.
Where can people?
Sure. I think you read from part of mine. It gives my clients and potential clients a good sense as to my background, the kind of person I am, both professionally and ethically. Yeah, absolutely. It's my pleasure.
That was amazing. Thank you very much.